Temperature to which water can be cooled in a cooling tower is wet bulb temperature of air. The capacity of the cooling tower and spray ponds as the wet bulb temperature decreases, air decreases, increases. An evaporator is also known as all of this above: freezing oil, cooling oil, chilling oil. The evaporator changes the low pressure liquid refrigerant from the expansion valve to the low pressure vapor refrigerant. The evaporator used in the household refrigeration is the frosting evaporator. In a refrigeration system, is the expansion device is connected between the receiver and evaporator. The capillary tube is an expansion device used in all of these above: domestic refrigerator, water cooler, room air conditioner. The capillary tube is not used in the large capacity refrigeration system. Is capacity control is not possible. The thermostatic expansion valve is also called as constant superheat valve. A thermostatic expansion valve is the refrigeration system with the ensure the operator completely filled with the refrigerant of the load. The thermostatic expansion valve is used in the type of evaporator dry. A valve which will maintain a constant degree of superheat at the end of evaporation is the low side of float valve. The thermostatic expansion valve operates the ranges of degree of superheat and exit of evaporation. Most thermostatic expansion valve are set of the superheat is 5 degrees centigrade. If a gas is to be liquefied, the temperature must be equal to the critical temperature. The temperature below which the gas always liquefied is known as the critical temperature is incorrect. The critical temperature is the temperature above which the gas will never liquefy. The critical pressure of the liquid, the pressure is the above which liquid will remain liquid. A mixture dry and water vapor is the high has diffused maximum amount of water vapor into a called as saturated air. The ratio of actual mass of water vapor unit dry mass of water vapor same mass dry air in saturated same temperature. The pressure is called as relative humidity. The ratio of actual mass of vapor in a given volume of moisture, the water vapor in the same volume saturated air same temperature pressure is called as relative humidity. The mass of water vapor present is called as absolute humidity 1 meter cube of dry air. The mass of water vapor present 1 kg of dry air is called the humidity ratio is true. The relative humidity is defined as the ratio of actual mass of water vapor in the given volume moisture of the mass of water vapor same volume saturated in the air same temperature pressure. The absolute humidity of the mass water vapor present in 1 meter cube dry air is the agree. The humidity ratio of specific humidity is the mass of water vapor present in the 1 kg of dry air. Degree of saturation of percentage humidity is the ratio of actual mass of water vapor unit mass dry mass of the vapor same dry and saturated in the same temperature pressure. The temperature of air recorded thermosphere when affected by the moisture presence of air is called as dry bulb temperature. The temperature air recorded by the thermometer when the bulb surrounded by the wet exposed to the air is called as wet bulb temperature. The temperature of air is known. In a standard air water vapor mixture is the dry bulb wet bulb dew point temperature same. Wet bulb temperature is the same temperature air is recorded by a thermostator when its bulb is surrounded by wet cloths exposed to the air. A dry bulb temperature is temperature of air recorded by the thermometer when it is not affected by the moisture present in the air. Dew point temperature, the temperature air recorded by the thermometer when the moisture represents begins to condense is the correct. For unsaturated air in dew point temperature of wet bulb temperature is the less than. The difference between the dry bulb temperature and wet bulb temperature is called the wet bulb depression. The difference between the dry bulb the difference between the dry bulb temperature and dew bulb temperature is called the dew point depression. The wet bulb depression is the 0 when the relative humidity is 1.0. The wet bulb depression indicates the humidity of the air relative. According to Hall's law of partial pressure, PB equal PA plus PV. A dew point temperature corresponds to the saturation temperature of vapor at the pressure is true. The relative humidity is given by mu of 1 minus mu by PS into PB. The expression 0.62 by PV minus PV is used calculating humidity ratio. The expression PV of PV minus PD by PD of PV minus PV is used calculating the relative humidity is no. The pressure water vapor is given by none of these above. The total pressure exerted by the water vapor is the sum of pressure in J constitute except the space by statement is called as Dalton's law of partial pressure. The dry bulb temperature lines on a discriminator chart is vertically and uniformly spaced. The wet bulb temperature lines on the physiometric chart are correct lines is false. In a physiometric chart is the dew point temperature lines are horizontal and non-uniformly spaced is the correct. In a physiometric chart specified humidity moisture center lines are horizontal and uniformly spaced. Hey lucky, polla. Chart dew point temperature lines horizontally and non-uniformly spaced is correct. In Picometric chart, space humidities moisture content lines are horizontally and uniformly spaced. The relativity lines on the Picometric chart is curved line. The vertical and uniformly spaced lines on the Picometric chart indicates dry bulb temperature. The horizontal and uniformly spaced lines on the Picometric chart indicates humidity is above. The horizontal and non-uniform spaced lines on the Picometric chart indicates dew point temperature. The inclined and non-uniformly spaced straight lines of Picometric chart indicates bulb temperature is agree. The curved lines on Picometric chart indicates the relative humidity. A low wet bulb temperature indicates very humidity is low. A relative humidity as air gets drier is increases. The relative humidity decreases, air gets wet. True. The wet bulb temperature is to 100 degrees. Relative humidity is dew point temperature is same as a wet bulb temperature at 100 degree. Relative humidity with dry bulb temperature is same as a 100% relative humidity of temperature, dry bulb temperature, point of the saturation temperature are equal to correct. A relative humidity decreases, the dew point temperature will be the wet bulb temperature is the lower than for the given dry bulb temperature as the relative humidity of the wet bulb temperature will increases decreases. Wet bulb temperature indicates the moisture content here is agree. Which of the following statement is correct? All of this above. The heating of air without any change in specific humidity is known as sensible heating is true. During sensible heating of air, specific humidity remains constant. Agree. The dry bulb temperature during sensible heating of air increases. During sensible heating of air decreases relative humidity. The wet bulb temperature during sensible heating of air increases. During sensible heating is the dry bulb temperature, dew point temperature. The bypass factor in case of sensible heating of air TD3 minus TD2 by TD3 minus TD1. In case of sensible heating of air, the cool efficiency given by 1 minus BPF. The cooling of air without any changes in specific humidity is known as sensible cooling is right. During sensible cooling of air, specific humidity remains constant. During sensible cooling of air decreases dry bulb temperature. During sensible cooling of air, relative humidity increases. Yes. The wet bulb temperature during sensible cooling of air decreases. The bypass factor in case of sensible cooling of air is given by TD2 minus TD3 by TD1 minus TD3. In case of sensible cooling of air, the coil efficiency is given by 1 minus BPF. Cooling coil increases with increase in velocity of air passing through it. During sensible cooling, partial pressure of a vapor remains constant. The bypass factor of cooling coil decreases with decrease in fin spacing and increasing the number of rows. A process of adding moisture to the air without change in the dry bulb temperature is known as humidification. Agree. During humidification process, dry bulb temperature remains constant. The specific humidity during humidification process increases. During humidification process is increases relative humidity. The sensible heat during humidification process is decreases false. The humidification process of the Picometric chart is a vertical line. The process of removing moisture from the air without change in dry bulb temperature is called a dehumidification. Correct. During humidification process remains constant dry bulb temperature. The specific humidity during humidification process decreases. During dehumidification process relative humidity is decreases. The dehumidification process on the Picometric chart is shown in the vertical line. Sensible heat factor is given by SH by SH plus LH. The process generally used in summer air condition cool dehumidification of the air is called as cooling and dehumidification. During cooling and dehumidification, dry bulb temperature decreases. The specific humidity during cooling and dehumidification decreases. The final relative humidity of the air during cooling and dehumidification generally, then that of entire air is the higher. During heating and dehumidification process, dry bulb temperature increases. The specific humidity during heating and dehumidification process increases. The sensible heat is factor during cooling and dehumidification process given by HA minus H2 by H1 minus H2. The process generally used in the winter air conditioning and warm and humidification of air is called as heating and dehumidification. During heating and dehumidification, is final relative humidity of air can be lower or higher than that of entire air. The sensible heat factor during the heating and dehumidification process given by HA minus H1 by H2 minus H1. During a diabatic saturation process, unsaturated remains constant. Wet bulb temperature. In a chemical dehumidification process, all of this above. In a spray washing system, the temperature water higher than the dry bulb temperature entering air than the air is heated at dehumidification. In order cool dehumidification stream is moisture must be passed over a coil at the temperature which is lower than the dew point temperature of incoming stream. When the air is passed through insulated chamber having space water maintain a temperature higher than the dew point temperature entering a lower and dry bulb temperature, the air is said to be cooled and dehumidification. 70% cooling and dehumidification. A human body feels comfortable when heat produced by the metabolism of human body is equal to sum of A and B, heat dissipated surrounding and heat stored in the human body. When the temperature of surrounding higher than temperature of the body and loss convection from the living surrounding will be negative. The human body feels comfortable when heat stored in the body is zero. The index which correlates combined effects of air temperature, relative humidity and the velocity of the human body is known as effective temperature. The optimum effective temperature for human comfort is lower in winter than in summer. Which of the following statement is correct? Both A and B. Air conditioning means all of this above. The comfort condition of air conditioning are the 22 degrees centigrade top dead center and 60 degrees percent. Dehydration in the process of removing water vapor from the surroundings is true. The central air conditioning system has overall efficiency compared to industry system higher. The conditioned air supplied the room temperature have capacity to take up both room sensible heat and latent heat at loads. The alignment circle is marked on the Ficometer chart is 20 degrees centigrade CBT and 50% RH. For air conditioning the operation theatre in the hospital, the percentage outside in the supplied of heat is 100. The sensible heat gain is due to the difference between the fresh air and the space is the temperature. When there is an additional of water vapor in an enclosed space in the gases inside to occurs in latent heat, the most commonly used method of the design duct size in the static reagents method. Thank you.